Welcome back to the Code Yellow podcast. I'm so excited to kick off season 2 with my good friends. We are super excited to get back into the conversation about relationships and how to navigate them using scripture and good old common sense. So instead of doing our usual icebreaker question, we're going to just catch up a little bit. And I want the newest milestone on the block to speak first.
I mean, since season 1, there's this little thing that we have at home.
Yeah.
Our baby. So we have a baby since season 1, and we were just over the moon. She's so precious, and it's just really cool just being in our parent era. Like, I'm a daddy. Like, she's a mom.
I'm a mom.
Let's get it.
Like, literally, it's just so surreal. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Super happy. And then Annecy.
Annecy got engaged.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so Annecy is getting married in a couple of weeks. So a lot of changes going on for all of us.
Yeah. Big party. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And then, my little sister did get married. Our milestone, a couple little things happened in my life. So, my wife and I, Martha, we hit 4 years just the other day. Super happy about that. We went on a little vacation. It was lovely. And I'm in the middle of somewhat of a career transition. I'm going to probably take it slow because, I want to kind of go at the pace that God wants me to go on this one. Mm-hmm. But I started and finished software development bootcamp just last couple weeks or so. So yeah, that's my thing. I've always enjoyed technology. So we'll see where that goes. And I know that I have some visions for the podcast in the future. Keep your eyes and ears open. Some cool things are coming down the pipeline.
Sure is.
So let's jump straight in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So we are kind of hitting a little interesting, almost scientific topic.
I like this.
Right? We're calling it social determinants of love. What things do we encounter in society that help and sometimes hurt relationships as a whole, like in society? So, Zav, let's see what your take is on this.
Oh, man. So when you were mentioning that, I was thinking about how society often tells us, especially millennials and our generation, get what you can get.
Right.
All that you can get, whether it's a date, whether it's a relationship, it's just like people being quote unquote happy is like what we focus on. Mm-hmm. And I think that in love, it's not about that. It's about sacrifice. It's about making a choice and the decision. And I think society has really done a number, especially on millennials. Just like, hey, you need to get what you can get. Like, nah, bro.
Oh, man. Yeah, like and that's such a weird thing to tell somebody.
Really is.
To just kind of take whatever, and I don't really like doing the gender specific conversation too much.
Right.
I feel like that's something that women have suffered through a lot. Mm-hmm. Like even like, guys are just like, hey man, like you can't get better than me. Like,
and we always can.
I'm a high value man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm loyal. I don't do nothing else, but I'm loyal. like
no job, no nothing, but I'm loyal, right?
Oh
like not even trying. Like, come on, bro. You're not even cleaning. You just have the house. Right. You're a liability right now. That's all. You just eating. You're not
loyal to liability.
Another mouth to feed.
Oh man. Oh, that's a whole other topic of the. I guess. Are we doing this?
Let's do it.
I think that society has kind of done us a disservice as men, right? Because do you have a brother?
Yes, a younger brother.
How much would you say he has been trained in helping to run a household? Not much. Right? And you don't have a brother.
No.
But do you have, I guess, men in your life
Cousins,
that you can, cousins? What have you observed on that front?
Yeah, especially culturally, I would say, and no hate, like I'm Haitian, I love our culture, but I would say they much more prepare the women on how to run the household. And like we're very early on, like in the kitchen with our moms and our aunts and our grandmas, like to cook and learning how to clean and things like that. But the men don't have that standard of doing that. I know some do, but it's more so like they're just there. And like one of the huge things in our culture is like the women prepare the food and the man sits and we bring them the food and things like that.
I like that
yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
sure. But it's like, which I think like in some cases, like I would love to serve Taj like that. He's so worthy of it. Like I don't mind it. But also it's like you want to also teach men like to do it themselves. Cause like I'm 30, Taj is 28. Like if I came along early, like who was gonna be teaching him how to do that? Like thank God, like we met later in life, so he knows how to do all that by himself. But you also have to equip children to handle anything that life throws at them. And like if you're doing everything for them, then they're not equipped. And so
right.
Devin, y'all are gonna get on me. Y'all are gonna get on me. And we're not getting into the gender wars, but I say to be annoying sometimes. We just had a baby. I said, Jasmine, you belong in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. And she just always rolls her eyes at me.
I just roll my eyes too.
See, y'all gonna get on me. But I told Jasmine, like, I actually like making that joke. Because it's so far from who I am.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I was just
fair.
like, I'm not a dude that looks at my wife, take care of my children. Right? I'm not a dude that doesn't know how to cook. I'm not a dude that doesn't know how to take care of a household or clean or desire to do those type of things.
Yeah.
So like dudes like me, I can make that joke with my wife, but y'all dudes who really aren't on that line,
Y'all don't be joking.
you don't be joking. You can't contribute. You don't have these skills. Bruh, tighten up. Okay, I'm done.
And even on the other side, like, so we're not too much on the men. Like, we are also as women, like, being at least not we, but I know of like on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, so many women that are being raised like, oh, you need to get this from him. You need to get that. He needs to pay your bills. He needs to do
Passive
that.
princess
Yeah.
advice.
And it's like, I mean, that man, like, I mean, I can almost ask Taj for that. Like, he's going to be the head of my household, but like a man you're dating and getting to know does not owe you those things. I mean, granted, if he's offering it, that'd be nice. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
But he doesn't owe you those things. So it's like, there's so many things that we like. I will go back to also psychology. Like we've had discussions on that, like on this podcast, like self-care, taking care of yourself. And I am so glad that this generation is just learning to like put themselves first, do things for us, like take care of our mental health, take care of our physical health. But also we have gotten to the point where I think we're taking it just a little too far, and we're looking at life as what can I get out of it in all facets of life, in relationship, in marriage, in family. And that is, number one, not the way that God intended it. Like we are supposed to obviously take care of ourselves in order to take care of other people, but also we are called to be givers. We are called to be lovers. We're called to not let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. And that's just not happening in this generation. Like, we're so like, give me. What can I get out of you? Da, da, da. And no, that is not the way we're supposed to be. We have to do better collectively, not as one gender or another, but collectively as people. Like, we need to stop looking so inwardly and be able to give back to people in general.
So it's becoming what I've been thinking of, very transactional.
Very.
Yeah.
That
So
right there.
we said social determinant, like that's the standard. You know, how many transactions and what kind of transactions can I get before you're even eligible for a relationship?
Yeah.
And it's becoming to me, very exhausting to watch, because I'm like, well, what do you look forward to in the relationship? And then a lot of times that is the relationship, transactions. And then like, I don't understand what it is. I guess I try not lean that to my own understanding. Right. But just knowing that it has come to that makes me very sad. For, you know, and you have people who feel like, well, this is what I have to, like, I have to do this to find out if the person is worth my time. But it's like, is that what it's based on?
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't have desire to get to know people for other things. And I guess I get it to an extent that some people they want to make sure they don't get involved with someone, I guess, that can't provide some of the things that they want.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have your preferences, right? But I think a lot of things are getting missed, and you find a lot of people are very jaded, or they're not optimistic about relationship, and so they're only willing to be in those type of arrangements.
Yeah.
Where they're just getting what they can get till, what is it, get it while the getting is good.
Yeah.
And then when there's nothing else to get, because like you said, it's not even about what can I give. It's once I gotten all I can get, then it's like, I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Y'all seen that one show with the balloon popping?
Oh
Oh my gosh.
I've seen clips of it
my
on
gosh.
Instagram. I've seen both genders, and they both are so cringe. Like, it's like,
Terrifying.
but also, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little addicting to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. But also, it is cringing to watch it because it's like, this is what we've come to?
I'm like,
as
this can't be
people?
real.
Oh my goodness, I've seen such
Did you see the
terrible
one with the
ones.
guy? I was just like, I'm not like, your kneecap is ashy. Did y'all see that?
I did not see that.
I was like, bruh.
I saw this one like last week with this man who's overweight, and he literally was like, yeah, you're not the size that I want. Like, he said something so degrading, and I was like, and then there was actually a gentleman next to him, and he was like, have you looked in the mirror? Like, the guy said that to him because he actually is like an overweight man talking about, yeah, like you turned to the side and the thickness was just not doing it for me. Like, you're a little thick. And I'm like, oh, is that
The
so?
audacity.
They have nothing but audacity these days.
I think, so with that whole situation, I'm like, some of these have to be fake. Like, they have to be.
I hope so.
Some of them I'm thinking they are. Some of them probably are not.
That's not fake. That's the society and culture that we live in.
I think that's what helps me feel better is to think that
Right.
it's fake.
Like,
So,
please
so let's
let
say
it
it's
be.
real. Let's say it's real. But what all of that is just objectifying people. And I guess my problem with it, again, preference. You can have preference. And I think the way that it's being done, like, it's one thing for you to, while you're out and about interacting with people, you're making observations, and you may make a decision based off your observations internally. But to objectify people to that level on a platform, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes it. It's like we're in a market,
Right.
and we're products or something on both ends, and it's very unfortunate because it's all about what you see. You're not really relational. You're not getting to know the person. You're not engaging with them. And you could really be missing out on getting to know a person that you could be connecting with, even if it doesn't turn into a romantic relationship, right? Because we were talking about all different types of relationships. So it just takes away you're really connecting with someone. And it's turning everything into being very shallow and surface.
Very.
And
But isn't that like the culture that we live in? Swipe, 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 left,
right.
left, left.
So whether it's the balloon popping
know.
on there and just turning people away because of how they you turn
swiping.
right. But like you said, the swiping too. Yeah, I guess so. And I guess I guess that is.
We gotta pray for our
same thing.
children, y'all, because
do.
by the time they have children and just like the prospects,
I'm sorry. We're going to just have to go back to families. Like, I'm going to pick a child when they're 3, and our families are going to I'm going to raise the daughter that you're going to you're going to raise a son. And then we're going to have to do it back in the days in Africa.
Right.
Because, no, my kid cannot go through this.
But I guess with what you're saying about like apps and things with the swiping, at least you have the opportunity to put some high points out there to
That's
get
true.
to know. It's like,
That's
okay,
true.
I can learn some things about you. I mean, again, we don't know if those things are true about the person, right? But it's really interesting. It's like everything has been, I think I'm about to make up a word, but language is alive. Commodified, because like commodity. So everything has been turned into a commodity. Well, even if it's just your profile, you're setting it up in a way that will be alluring enough to someone to even engage with you versus let me engage with you and find out if I want to continue. You know what I mean? So it's like, did I put just the right ingredient, like thing to entice you? And it doesn't even have to be true. It just needs to be enough to
get you through the door.
Yeah, and
like
then
a
I can
sales pitch.
decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can decide if I want to be misleading or not. You know, because there's some stories out there.
Yep. Remember that one? I know
There's
which
some
one y'all
stories
thinking
in
about.
here.
Yeah, there's some wildness going on. So what are some other type of, so one I think we've kind of touched on is like social media, right? Because those videos and the apps. What are some other like social determinants are you kind of thinking about?
So I know that, we kind of talked about how, what do you bring to the table? But even as kind of superficial as a conversation is, like, you gotta know something. You gotta be able to say, okay, there's some merit here, because strong families aren't made on good vibes and potential, right? Right.
That's facts.
Is there a base that you're coming from? Like, is there something that a life can be built on? So I was thinking about how expensive life has gotten, right? And even like, okay, let's say 50 years ago, even 20 years ago, our 6-figure income was, you're set, you're good for life.
Yeah.
And there are people that have finished professional school, and are now, and they're thinking they're good, but then life has just gotten so crazy that 6 figures is not 6-figuring anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It really
Right?
isn't.
So there, and then how expensive a child is to raise, right? They say from 0 to 18, the parents are paying like $180,000 to raise that child, right? Like, what if there are elements of this kind of superficial thing that actually need to be paid attention to, like income, like different habits, like. So if you guys were in today's dating market, thank God we're not, right?
No, facts.
But what would you be looking for? What would you be measuring by? Like, what do you think?
I guess I was the most recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was measuring a lot of things. Like I was measuring, like, not so much where he stood financially, but that he was a hustler. He was a hard worker. He always wanted to have a job. And so that was huge for me. A lot of it was based off like character. A lot of it really was, because I was just like, he could lose his job. I know he would work to find another one,
Right.
but it was just like, what is your mindset and what is your like character while I'm making more money than you?
Right.
What is your, like, how are you moving through life? So I think that a lot of my what I was looking for was a lot more internal morality, spiritually. Like, are you like Job at the end? Like, are you like handling it well? Like, if things are being taken care of, are you like cursing God's name, things like that? So like, I think I focused a lot on that. And then I also leaned a lot on what my friends were seeing and what I introduced Tasha like a couple months in.
Yeah.
But you guys had met previous people like I dated, and I always wanted my friends, because people, like, your friends really do see what you can't see. Like, love is so mirroring, or like so blinding. And so it was like, I really wanted people to be able to call out like, hey, that's not okay, or things like that. So those are just a few of my things I was looking for.
I think at the end of the day, when it comes to relationship, it's really about people just knowing what they want. And because what if someone might want a relationship where, so the reason why I even thought of this, I remember 2 older women who are married. They've been doing it way longer than me. They actually encouraged me to marry for money and not for love. And it kind of took me off guard. I was like, one of them was like a mentor to me. So I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I heard, I got it, but I don't know. That wasn't for me. I'll say that.
Wait. You didn't marry for money? My father owns all the land.
Come on.
Your father owns all the land, whatever the Bible verse said.
You're right.
You know what I mean? My daddy is rich.
Get me together.
Amen.
Get me together.
Papa God.
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Get me together.
So
But you're right. We are rich. I think, but what I got from what they were saying were more liquid assets.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And that could be what somebody wants. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's not that I definitely want to be comfortable, financially stable, those things.
Yeah.
But I think Annie hit the nail on the head where it's like, because what I got from them advising that is like, I guess one without the other. Like, love isn't as important.
Right.
And they may not have been saying that, but
In so many words, they kind of.
right. And so when there are people who have very financially stable relationships and they have all the things that they want and they're not happy because as humans, we require more than that. I mean, the word even tells us that, there's the parable of like with the camel, the needle,
Right.
and even with death, we know that we can't take our tangibles with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why we need more, I think, even in the natural, because that's how we're created. So if you don't have those other needs being met, but again, you have to know what your needs are. You got to know what your
Right.
preferences, what your wants are, but you have to also know what your needs are. Because what if all your wants are met and now your needs aren't being met, but you didn't shop for that?
Yeah.
But one is because you lack the awareness of what you needed. And a lot of times, whether we intend to or not, we tend to look for the things we need in relationships anyway. We tend to be attracted to the things that we lack, therefore need. And so, yeah, so I'll speak for my own relationship. There's a fatherless daughter that is being healed through my marriage.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Granted, I didn't marry Xavier with the expectation that he needed to heal that.
Yeah.
However, I did see qualities in him as a husband that would be a father to our children that were important to me. And I'm having the opportunity to have that healed because I'm seeing it play out as he's a father and to our daughter. You know what I mean? But not like, oh, well, you need to be doing these things because my father didn't do them. So I get that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a father that was a provider or any men in my life that were reliable providers, but I get to experience that in my marriage. So I get to feel safe and and it's like, okay, but I also did look for that.
Yeah.
You know, in our courtship, like, okay, is he responsible? Does he want to provide? Is he a hard worker? What's his work ethic? Rather, you know, if our dynamic change, how is he gonna go about getting it? So, but again, I realized that those were gonna be some things that I needed / would need to address rather that I knew would come up in a relationship. So, people have to be aware. They have to be aware. What are your all's thoughts in general about, other determinants?
Yeah. I mean, I think that if I was dating in 2024, I probably would take social media off because, like, literally, we don't understand how much we're influenced by the things that we see. The red balloon popping, I can see how one can equate that to like insecurity and like, well, I don't make any money and and so I would definitely probably be on social media less and just like not tap so much into those things.
Right.
And also I think I would most definitely, do what I did and just find someone that has the heart of Christ. That's the most important part because, everything else is going to come. Like y'all know me. I tell Jasmine all the time, like, stuff is always going to work out. It always is going to, like, it literally has to work out. Whether it's your relationship, whether it's your marriage, whether it's finding love, whether it's love within, we're talking about relational, but even within the family, like, God is going to work it out. And I just, like, he has to. I always say, I don't know if it's like blind faith or blessed assurance, or maybe a little bit of both, but it's all going to work out. So definitely, if you're watching this, fellas, make sure you find a lady that loves the Lord and that looks good, barefoot, and pregnant. No, it's okay. I'm done.
So I think if I were to step back into the game, I think I would still have some of the same things I was looking for, which is somebody I could build with. I think the primary thing that I would change actually is I would have loved to have done therapy way sooner and for longer because, I mean, I'm growing. I'm a growing individual, right? And there are things that I learned over time that are in my way to being an effective husband, being an effective partner, to being an effective person, an effective leader. So I think I wish that I had learned myself a little bit sooner so that I could have been on the track I am now faster. I think that's a big thing. Like. And at the end of the day, it's easy to say, oh, I would do this, I would do that. But the most important thing is to make sure that you yourself are strong or even approaching the person that you want to be with. Right. You can't cut down a tree with a dull axe. You'll spend all day chopping. But if you take even half the day sharpening the axe, the rest of the job is going to be easier. You'll know more of what you want. You'll be able to be more clear and more focused and have that final destination in mind so that you can actually pursue it.
Devin, you said that reminds me of an Instagram video, of course, and it said, write down a list of what you want in a significant other. Be that list. Yeah. And I was like, that's so good.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So y'all, be that list, y'all.
So that takes us to the end of episode 1. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be back with these people. I love you guys.
Love you, bro.
Miss y'all.
And
I missed y'all for real.
Yeah,
I miss y'all too.
Seriously.
But, you know, it's always a good time. It's always a party. Thank you for joining us for season 2. Please come again. And as always, heal responsibly. See you next time.
Peace.